a while ago, I used to be pretty good at hitting gaps, and I had this little mental thing that I would think about before I threw a shot that would make me really good at gap hitting. I grew up throwing in the fields, throwing with absolutely no trees, as I'm sure a lot of people do, throwing in the park. And I'm going to explain to you how you can hit your gaps way better, even when there's a wooded fairway like this. Now I'm faced with a tunnel shot. There's 2 trees at the end. Realistically, there's no reason to care about the last 2 trees. For most people, you're going to want to be, as Paul Macbeth would say, just hitting the gap. Now, what does hitting the gap mean? What do you think it means? Who knows? But what you need to be doing, what I was thinking about when I was at the Heatland Open, when I was at the Heatland Open, I was playing and I hit 11 times on the right side of a fairway like this, hit the trees on the right with my backhand in one round. Shocking. And I thought back to an old trick that I used to use. And that trick is to think about the hole as if you're throwing in an open field. Now, as I said, I grew up throwing in an open field, but if I just really visualize the hole and I look at the shot and I say, okay, there are no trees here, right? Let's see how that looks. Now, I didn't even hit the gap, but what I did do is give myself the best chance possible. Now, this is the most important thing. I find it pretty hard to justify making a video if I shoot, let's say, below my rating, because it's all in my head. However, realistically, most of the people watching this are not going to be as high rated just by the fact of pure PDGA ratings. And I know that, as people say, my mechanics and things I don't score as well as my potential as I maybe could, but I know a decent bit about the game. I'm obviously learning about the game, and I wasn't actually playing nearly enough. My putting, it's not where it needs to be. That's a long process, but I know enough about the game to talk about it. And also, if I make content about it, I internalize the information, I get better, and if I get something wrong, then someone can let me know, and it will help people in the future. So if I do get it right, my coaching will help people. It's a win-win. I just got to keep making the content. Now I'm faced with this. I threw normal shots. I used a fan grip. I'm going to go into my control power grip. I'm going to throw another normal shot. And what this is doing, when I'm imagining, I'm in my favorite field right now, I'm imagining the hole without any trees. Now what this allows me to do is to throw freely. Now if I make a mistake, it's going to be because of my own ability, because maybe my form's not good enough, maybe my practice isn't good enough, whatever, maybe my focus is not on. But if I'm looking at this shot, it's so easy for me to go, hey, I'm going to run up and try and hit the gap, and I'm not going to throw my normal flowing shot. You need to be flowing, you need to be free, and I'm going to tense up and I'm going to shank it over right, or I'm going to early release it left, or I'm going to run up in the wrong direction. What needs to happen is I need to throw and let my body go naturally where it wants to go. And it's so hard to maybe do that if you're worried about hitting a gap. Also, if you want to hit a tree, I'll talk about that after this throw. Okay, I visualized that exact line, I promise. Got a buzzsaw, all the rave on the buzzsaws, finally got one. Very excited to throw it. Pretty good shot for this hole, maybe a little bit stable. But my body goes where I'm looking, right? This is why it's important to lock eyes on the target. You need to have the line that you're going to throw on. You lock eyes on that and you let your body freely carry out its muscle memory. Because if I'm looking at a tree, scared about a tree, my body naturally wants to throw towards that tree. And if the direction of the basket is not going to be where I'm maybe throwing at the tree and pulling it off, if I'm looking at the tree because I don't want to hit a tree, then the only way that I hit the gap is if I compensate. Now, if I compensate, I can't learn from my mistakes because I'm not throwing naturally, I'm not throwing with free form, not throwing truly. So, I want to hit this. You know what? I'm going to throw a flat shot. This is going to fade to be a hyzer, and it's going to land at 15 feet because, provided I hit the gap, which I will do, because this might be a consistent shot that I know in the field I can throw. I'm just going to throw that shot. It's going to be easy, don't need to park it, I just need to get through the gap with a consistent line. Ooh. You know what? Didn't work out, but I still threw it normally. And I think that is going to be a key thing that you should think about. So when you're going up to a wooded shot like this, it's not going to work out perfectly necessarily, but you're going to give yourself the best chance. And if you really, really imagine there are no trees and you really imagine your line, then your body's going to go on that line. And you don't even necessarily need to imagine no trees. You could just imagine that you're going to hit this line. But the important thing is you're focused on hitting what you want to hit instead of avoiding what you don't want. And that's quite a good metaphor for life. But anyway, I've been the B-hole. One last throw. Okay, final shot of the day with Mr. Buzz Lightyear. Thank you very much for watching the video. I'm going to try and get an ace. Visualize the line and then throw the line. Okay, well, I aim small and miss small. Goodbye.